Such that, because I'm homeless on the street and I'm mentally, actually.
All right. This is courtroom 1. It is the first session for Thursday.
All right.
Thank you.
Thursday, December the 26th, 2019. Judge Kirkland presiding for the first session. Appearing on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Elaine Fusco.
And appearing on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
Lakeisha Haley.
Thank you. Can we tell from where that's coming?
Christopher Diaz, 102971.
I had a plea form already, Your Honor.
Okay. So that sounds.
Yeah, I apologize. I thought you saw it. It's okay.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Yes. No, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Yes. No, Your Honor. Thank you.
We're still going over a plea form with him. He's signing the plea form right now. Does he need an interpreter, Guillermo? Yes, he does. Yes, thank you. What was the name?
Good morning.
Oh, okay.
Good morning.
Oh, Fuentes. Reynaldo Fuentes? Oh. That's not him. That's Mr.
Rodrigo Granda.
Do you need an interpreter, sir?
No. No.
Yeah, this is Rodrigo Granda, 19MN 3946. Name and date of birth, sir?
Yeah, 11/25/1959.
Name?
Yeah, I'm 60 years old. Rodrigo Granda.
can do, so I guess that's her.
Okay, we'll try again.
Got it all come through the system and prepared, but I don't have anything on the stuff. You can hear that.
The first case at this time should be Jeffrey Reyna. Okay. This is Jeffrey Reyna. I'm Judge Kirkland. I'm reviewing your case this morning on a first appearance. It indicates from the affidavit that I'm reviewing, I believe it's the first of two affidavits. It has 6 charges. These charges come from yesterday, the 25th of December. The arrest being at 4408 Hoffner Avenue. That's in the city of Belle Isle. Count 1 is battery on a law enforcement officer. Count 2, aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer with a firearm. Count 3, resisting an officer with violence. 4, use of a firearm or weapon in the commission of a felony.
I've already discussed it with.
No, you didn't discuss it. I just want to let you know, I got 2. For the first one, I went.
All right. Count 5 is carrying a concealed firearm, and count 6 is possession of alcohol by a person under the age of 21.
When do I be released? That's my question. I asked him. If I take.
There are bonds set at $2,500 for the first 5 shown on here, but however, based upon the way bonds are handled here is the dominant charge will have a full bond and the others will
Thank you, Your Honor.
Will have a reduced bond. Count 2 on this case will have a bond of $5,000.
They're finishing the plea form for him right now, Your Honor. I think they need the interpreter. Okay. They're bringing him up from the back, Your Honor. Hanafi? Joel Hanafi? Hanif? Name and date of birth, sir? Necesita un intérprete. Can you talk? Okay. He's signing to me that he can't speak, Your Honor. He says that you just can't talk right now today. Mm-hmm. He's got a sore throat or something. Can you try to talk? Okay. Yes, Your Honor. You're saying you can sign it? Here, they'll talk to you. Here, they'll talk to you.
Rogers Howe, 32393.
Not yet. Yes, Your Honor, not guilty. Did you call another name, Your Honor? Yeah, Howell?
That's okay. All right, thanks.
We'll see if this did.
Timothy Howell, 5/17/1983.
I know.
When they do emergency duty like yesterday, do they do Osceola, any Osceola from here? It has BRC and Osceola, so maybe something got messed up on that. Now, we're on BRC, but if that's Osceola, it probably happened some kind of during the time the emergency duty judge yesterday was doing Osceola.
But it only did it for a little while. They came across and they started talking and then it didn't shut off and then it didn't come back on for the rest of the day.
Okay.
So it did happen on Tuesday as well, the same thing.
Let's see if this is, if we're able to proceed at this point. Returning to Jeffrey Reyna, counts 1, 3, 4, and 5 will each have a bond of $150, and count 6 will have a bond of $100, but count 2 will remain at $5,000. The public defender is appointed to represent Mr. Reyna in Division 10. That's Judge Adams? Judge Adams. The area that's concerned also will have a no return to 2 businesses that are in the vicinity of 4408 Hoffner and 4416 Hoffner. That's a Wawa and an O'Reilly's Auto Parts. No return while this case is pending. Not to be in possession of any weapon while the case is pending. Before I leave this, I would note that counts 2, 3, and 4, based upon our schedule, are actually no bonds. And so I'm going to ask the state whether you are asking that they remain at none or whether they would be at the amounts that I just indicated.
I looked those up before I came up, Your Honor, and they have filed them as a F2s, I believe. Is that what you're showing?
Yes.
F2s in this case.
All right. So the bonds that I just announced will remain on that. There is a second affidavit that I'll refer to. It is driving while under the influence at that location. So the public defender is appointed in county court as well. The bond in that case is $500. It will remain at that. It's a separate matter. I'll give you the case number on that. It's 19 CT 9272 AO.
Yes. And Your Honor, would you consider pretrial release? He qualifies for the same.
I would not consider that based upon the principal charge being involving a firearm. This is Gene Park. It is a charge of trespass after property on after warning. It's a misdemeanor charge from 512 East Washington Street. From yesterday, he is unrepresented at this time. It is a state charge by the Orlando Police Department. Does the state attorney have an offer to resolve this case at first appearances?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court costs, no return to the scene of the trespass, which was Lake Eola Park.
Mr. Park, I want you to consider your option today. One choice would be that you can bond out. Your bond is listed at $500. I at this time, after reviewing the case, set the bond at $250. The other choice is if you decide to resolve the case by entering a plea, you can enter a plea of no contest in which you don't admit the facts of the case, but for convenience, you decided to resolve it today. The offer from the state attorney this morning is 2 days, credit for 2 days served. You'll be released later on today. I will order you not to go back to that location because it is indicated that you have a trespass warning, and if they see you, they'll call the police again. If you do wish to enter a plea, review the plea form at this time, and if you have any questions, as a friend of the court, the attorney, the public defender next to you can answer any questions about whether you are taking the right option, the right choice today. What is your full legal name?
Gene Huang Park,
And what's your date of birth?
July 9th, 1982.
The charge that's before me today is trespass on property after warning from an arrest yesterday at Lake Eola Park, 512 East Washington Street. How do you plead to that charge?
No contest.
And did you have an opportunity to read and understand and sign your plea form?
Yes.
Did you have enough time to decide what you are confident is your best choice today?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions you want to ask me concerning the charge, the facts of the case, the plea that you're entering, or the proposed sentence?
No.
Are you willing to stay away from Lake Eola Park knowing that they're going to call the police if they see you there?
Yes.
All right. I'll accept the plea at this time. You're adjudicated guilty of trespass on property after warning. It is a first-degree misdemeanor. The sentence is 2 days, credit for 2 days. You'll be released later on today.
Yeah.
I do order you not to return to Lake Eola Park. Okay. That's the entire park that surrounds that lake. It covers Robinson and Roslyn and Central on 3 sides. Those are the sides generally that these arrests take place. This address was 512 East Washington Street.
Excuse me, Your Honor. He does have a detainer for a violent felony offender of special concern. He's currently on probation. He's well aware of that.
All right. Do you understand that if you do enter the plea and I accept it today, that may or likely will affect your probation situation? Do you think it would be better not to enter a plea, or do you think that you still want to enter a plea? Or do you think you might be best to have me appoint the public defender and discuss it before you make a decision? I can continue this matter until tomorrow, for example.
Yes, because I violated probation, but probation never came and picked me up, so I don't understand what's the situation.
Okay. What do you, in thinking about your options, what do you think is best for you to do today?
I would have to say get released and probably go to the probation office and turn myself in.
Because of the detainer, he will not be released today.
Okay. Do you understand that actually the release today is the release only on this charge, and you'll be held, and you will actually not be out today, but instead you will start the process of the violation of probation case?
Yeah.
Do you still think this is the best thing for you to do?
Sure.
I accept the plea. It's 2 days, credit for 2 days, and no return to any portion of Lake Eola Park during the next 360 days. I find that you're not able to pay court costs, but I'm not able to waive it, so it becomes a civil judgment at this time. The next person is not before me, and that's Katrina Perkins. What happened to that person? All right. That's the same thing that occurred in front of Judge Wish. In reviewing this case, out of an abundance of caution, I appoint the public defender to represent Katrina Perkins so that she can be seen and advised that the only way she'll secure her release is to come and see the first appearance judge. It is a case that ordinarily can be resolved at first appearances, and it indicates she is a resident of another state, St. Louis, Missouri, and it's unlikely that she would be getting out otherwise. So in an effort to keep her from perhaps staying here for 33 days, I do appoint the public defender for the purposes of us trying to establish the reasoning for her refusal to see the first appearance judge. Reset for tomorrow to see if something happens. Jeffrey Smith.
Yes, sir.
This is a misdemeanor charge from yesterday. The public defender is appointed to represent you in division. I stand correct. It's a felony charge from yesterday. I do appoint the public defender in Division 12, and here is the case number. It's 19 CF 17430AO. The charge is possession of synthetic drugs within 1,000 feet of a college. It indicates it's North Cimarron Boulevard and Old Cheney Highway. When I reviewed the narrative, there's no reference to how that was established, that there was any length of separation, nor is there any reference to either a convenience store or a school or a college or anything else. It's just a straightforward narrative for possession. Does the state have any additional supplements today concerning that issue of whether it should be an enhanced charge involving a prohibited area?
No, Your Honor. We would request 24 hours to get a supplement to clarify the college referenced.
All right. The state is given 24 hours, and if you have not bonded out Mr. Smith by tomorrow, I will make a decision tomorrow in this courtroom as to whether it should be simply a charge of possession or whether in fact it is within 1,000 feet of one of the prohibited types of locations such as a convenience store, a school, or a college.
Your Honor, would you consider reducing the bond until the state provided the additional information?
I will reduce the bond based upon the allegations before me. I find that the appropriate bond today will be $1,000. I will be seeing Mr. Smith again tomorrow, and I can make a decision as to whether that the supplement or lack of it there will affect that. It can be changed, but in the meantime, if Mr. Smith is able to bond out, the bond will be $1,000 until tomorrow.
Thank you, Your Honor. And, Your Honor, I didn't know.
Don't say anything on the record.
Thank you.
Philip Stallnecker. This is a warrant arrest affidavit. It is a capias, and that tells me that an information has been filed in the case by the State Attorney's Office charging you with grand theft third degree. It's a failure to appear for trial on November the 18th, and release was revoked at that time, and the judge in Division 10 set a new bond of $2,000. Does he have the public defender? The public defender already represents you in Division 10. You can bond out on a $2,000 bond, or you can talk to your public defender about getting a hearing in front of the judge in Division 10 to reduce the bond if you're not able to meet that amount. I cannot make a change on that. Aaron Thompson.
Yes.
This is an arrest affidavit from yesterday, the 25th of December. There are 3 charges. They are from 8574 South Orange Blossom Trail. That should be south of Sand Lake Road. This indicates it's a Wawa station. Count 1, robbery with subsequent force, bond $5,000. Count 2, a misdemeanor of battery, $500. I'm sorry. It's a, well, it says it's the charge of battery. And count 3 is petty theft. From the allegations contained in the narrative, the bonds on count, the bond on count 2 will be a bond of $150. The bond on count 3 will be a bond of $100. Total bond then is $5,250. No return to the Wawa station at 8574 South Orange Blossom Trail while this case is pending. You have the public defender in Division 16. That's Judge Elaine Barber. Victoria Walter.
Yes, sir.
This is a warrant arrest affidavit from Division 20. It is a capias, so that tells me that information has been filed by the State Attorney's Office in Division 20. Count 1, possession of cocaine. Count 2, possession of drug paraphernalia. The capias is dated December the 4th. Failure to appear for pretrial conference on December the 3rd, 2019. Release was revoked by the judge in Division 20, and you're being held without bond, no bond status. Public defender?
Yes.
Public defender does represent you, so your next step is either wait until there's a trial or a hearing, or talk to your public defender about obtaining a motion in front of the judge in Division 20 asking for new conditions of release.
Yes, sir.
Erica Wilburn.
Yes.
This is a Florida uniform traffic citation from the Winter Garden Police Department. It indicates driving while license suspended or revoked. And it became an arrest affidavit felony level because it's driving while license revoked as a habitual traffic offender, which ordinarily is based upon prior convictions of a similar nature. It comes from yesterday, 624 South Dillard Street. The bond has been set at $2,500, which is the normal bond for such a charge. And I would add an additional condition, and that is, and it's an obvious one, not to drive until your license is reinstated. You do have the public defender in this case in Division 12.
Yes, sir.
Jesus Ceballera Casanova. This is a trespass after warning charge from yesterday at McGuire and South Orange Blossom Trail. 6574 South Orange Blossom Trail is the location. It's a Wawa station. Trespass after warning has a bond of $500. The public defender is appointed to represent you on that charge. This is a case where there may be an offer from the state attorney's office, depending upon the circumstances.
Yes, Your Honor. Indication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court costs, no return to the scene of the trespass at the Wawa at 8574 South Orange Blossom Trail.
So this is a time-served offer? All right. Talk to your attorney about your options today.
Your Honor, he's going to accept the offer, plead no contest.
Is there any indication of, from anyone, whether he has a prior record of any kind?
I have, Your Honor, Florida arrests and convictions, none. Out of state, none. Is that what you? Yes.
If he has absolutely no record and it was a trespassing at the Wawa station,
Would you like to withhold, Your Honor?
yeah, well, I'm simply raising that as to whether you feel that that would be a possibility.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The offer is a withhold of adjudication, so you still will have no record at time served to be released, but it will be on the basis that you're not going to go back there, period. Do you wish to enter a plea on that basis?
Okay. Yes.
What is your full legal name
Jesus Cebollero Casanova,
and your date of birth?
June 20th, 1983.
All right. How do you plead to the charge of trespass on property after warning at the Wawa station on South Orange Blossom Trail, the address being 8574 South Orange Blossom Trail?
No contest.
Did you read and understand your plea form?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have enough time to discuss your options with your attorney, the public defender who's standing next to you?
Yes.
Any questions for me concerning this matter?
No.
Are you willing to stay away from there?
Yes.
And do you understand that it's clear that if they see you, they will call the sheriff's office, and forgetting that you have a trespass warning there won't help you in the future?
Yes.
All right. I'll accept the plea at this time. I withhold adjudication. And that withhold is based upon you following through with not returning to that location during the next 360 days. It's a first-degree misdemeanor. The sentence is 2 days credit for 2. You'll be released later on today. The court cost, it's very doubtful that you would be able to meet the requirements of paying that at the present time, so it will become a civil judgment. So stay away from that location. Daniel Della Croce?
Yes.
This is an arrest affidavit from yesterday at 4674 South Orange Blossom Trail. It indicates it's in the street, South Orange Blossom Trail and 43rd, which is, that would be 4 blocks south of the light at 39th. Count 1 is resisting an officer by obstruction, but without violence, so it's a first-degree misdemeanor, $500 bond. Count 2 is a misdemeanor charge of possession of paraphernalia, $100 bond, and the third charge, carrying a concealed weapon of some type, bond of $100. Your total bond is $700. The public defender represents you. There's a complication in this case, and it is as follows: that you have a felony charge in which you were arrested on August the 21st and bonded on September the 12th. It's in Division 12, represented by counsel, case number 2019 CF 11901 or 1190. It's hard to tell whether it is 4 numerals or 5, likely to be 5. The charge on that prior matter is introducing contraband into a county facility as well as possession of meth. I revoke that bond at this time based upon the new charge, and you have a new bond for that prior charge. The new bond is $2,500. So the total amount in order for you to secure your release would be a total of $3,200 for the 1 prior and the 3 new ones in the new affidavit.
Because it's 2 counts on the out on bond.
Oh, yes, I need to divide that up, and that's correct. The possession of meth will have a bond of $2,000, and the introducing contraband will have a bond of $500 for a total of $2,500. Danny Garcia?
Yes, sir.
This is an arrest affidavit from yesterday at 8049 East Colonial Drive. That is a Wawa gas station. The charge of trespass after warning has a bond of $500. The public defender is appointed to represent you. It is complicated by the following. It indicates you are out on bond in Division 11, case number 2019 CF 14021. The arrest for aggravated assault and resisting without violence was on October the 5th, 2019, bonded on November the 4th of 2019. At this time, based upon the new charge, I revoked the bond in that prior case. The new bond set on the prior case, the aggravated assault will have a bond of $5,000. The resisting charge will have a bond of $100 for a total of $5,100, together with a new charge of $500. So the total amount necessary for you to secure your release, $5,600 bond. Also, a condition of release is not to return to that Wawa station at 8049 East Colonial Drive. And when I say no return, it will be not to go within 1,000 feet of that location while the case is pending.
Your Honor, could he resolve the trespass or no?
He should not,
I'll plea out.
he should bond out if he's able to get out on the other charge.
So what's the total charge? Right there. 5,000.
Sir.
Richard Lewis.
Vanover.
The next case that I have is Richard Lewis. Do we have something about him?
Mental health, Your Honor.
All right. As far as Richard Lewis is concerned, he'll be reset for tomorrow. There's a probable cost of holding him on a $500 bond and reset for tomorrow. Brandon Vanover.
Yes, sir.
This is an affidavit from yesterday from 205 East Central Boulevard. Charge is trespass after warning. And it states that it's actually the area of North Roslyn and East Central. That is an address that has a convenience store on the northeast corner and at the library on the northwest corner.
Yeah, which I gotta walk past.
Don't say anything yet, because I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. You should talk with your attorney rather than me before you make any decisions or say anything. It indicates in the affidavit that the officer had previously arrested you at that location and actually had conditions of not to return to that location. And so this is a new case 2 days later, according to the allegations contained in the narrative. But I do appoint the public defender to represent you on this charge, and we will find out whether the state has an offer to resolve this case today.
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days, credit time served, court costs, no return to scene of the trespass.
Your Honor, Mr. Vanover is going to accept the offer, plead no contest.
What is your full legal name?
Brandon Marquise Vanover.
And your date of birth?
10/1990.
And spell your middle name. We don't actually have that on this case, but what is the?
M-A-R-K-E-S-E.
All right. This particular plea form has the wrong name at the top. Danny Garcia. Do we have another one for Brandon Vanover? All right. And Garcia is the one I set for tomorrow. Tomorrow, do it, just toss this, or? How do you plead to the first-degree misdemeanor of trespass on property after warning?
No contest.
All right. And did you read and understand your plea form?
Yes.
And did you hear me indicate what the allegations are concerning why you were arrested?
Yes, I spoke with the arresting officer last
Okay.
night. So.
And what I want to do is, for your benefit, try to make sure that there's some alternative so this doesn't keep happening over and over again, since it's only 2 days from the last one. That is a very popular area. You know, almost half the cases today involve that general area there. You're going to need to find another location. Agreed? Say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll accept the plea at this time. It's the offer was 3 days, credit for 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
That still means you get out later on today.
Okay.
But it is adjudication, 3 days, credit for 2. No return to that area. So you're not to go within 1,000 feet of that intersection. That is the intersection of Roslyn and Central.
Okay.
And that no return is during the next 350 days.
Yes, sir.
Court costs, I cannot waive, but I also find that you will not be able to pay that during the time needed, so it will be a civil judgment.
Okay.
Okay, I have 2 people remaining, and they are set up for hearings this morning. And I have a calendar that indicates 4 cases. I'm going to call these and we'll find out who is present. The first one on the calendar is State of Florida against Demetra Johnson.
No, Your Honor. I believe that's a 33-day motion.
All right. I have State of Florida against Alexander Glover.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll come back to the Johnson. This is a determination of counsel. He was found not to be indigent due to his income.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Yes.
Well, actually, Your Honor, may we approach? May we and the state approach?
All right.
your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
For what?
You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
No, ma'am. You say you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, on what I'm in here for?
No.
Whatever questions the judge asks.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to ask you some
I swear to
questions.
tell
I
the
just
truth,
want to
nothing
make
but the
sure
truth.
you understand that you're going to have to tell the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. At the time of your arrest, were you employed? Did you have a job, a permanent job?
Yeah, I mean, I work.
And what's the name of your employer?
I work with someone on the street. They pay me to work for them.
Okay. And what is the type of work that you ordinarily do?
Landscaping and like construction work.
Okay. And what is the last time you were actually on a construction site working?
Last time, that was last year.
Last year?
Well, that was last, like, before Thanksgiving, November.
Okay. So between Thanksgiving and now, you actually haven't earned any money, is that correct?
No, Your Honor, no.
Okay. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Now, there's an issue concerning the length of time that you've been in, and it is a situation in which the formal 33-day motion has not been set for a hearing before me today, but in reviewing this case and noting that a notification of non-filing has already been indicated on my own action, I at this time do release you on ROR. If something happens, but you need to be aware that you're still facing this charge.
Okay.
And if the state takes action, you will start over again on the case. But right now, you are not being held while the decision is made what to do about the case.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Henry Sharon Jr. Oh, that's a 33-day motion. I'll come back to that. And then the fourth case is State of Florida. It's Lee Antonio Span Jr.
Yes, sir.
All right. It's a motion for non-monetary release conditions set before the court today. The public defender can be heard at this time.
Your Honor, we filed this motion to get Mr. Span released on his own recognizances. He was arrested on December 19th for a violation of an open container. He does have a bond of $250. If the court wants, I can take his testimony today. However, we're asking, first, I spoke with the state prior to court that we can resolve this case versus getting him released on his own recognizances. Ms. Fusco advised me that she would provide an offer as to resolving his case. If we can't resolve his case at that point, Your Honor, we would refer back to our motion for ROR.
On behalf of the city, is there an offer to resolve the case today?
Yes, Your Honor. We would do 7 days with credit time served, court costs, adjudication of guilt.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes, it is a time-served offer and calculating the dates.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Span would like to accept that offer and plead no contest.
The motion for non-monetary release conditions is rendered moot by a resolution of the case by way of an offer. This case number is 19MO1980OR. The charge is open container, a city ordinance violation. What is your full legal name?
My full legal name is Lee Antonio Spann Jr., sir.
And your date of birth?
May 13, 1988, sir.
The matter that's before the court today is a city ordinance violation of open container from an arrest on December the 19th of 2019. How do you plead?
No contest, sir.
Did you read and understand your plea form?
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay. And I don't actually have the document yet in front of me concerning the case. Where were you arrested?
I was arrested on Ossie Street and Terry Avenue, sir.
All right.
By the coalition.
Okay. So that's near Central, the coalition 635 West Central, so in that vicinity, within several blocks of that anyway?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions you want to ask me about this case?
No, Your Honor. No, sir.
I accept the plea at this time. You're adjudicated guilty and the sentence is 7 days, credit for 7 days served. You'll be released later on today. Do you have an ability to pay court costs?
At the moment, I don't, but I will if I have
All right.
to.
What I'm doing at this time, I don't have the ability to waive court costs, but I am giving you 360 days from today to pay them.
Yes,
so you have
sir.
almost a year to pay the court costs.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. You'll be released today.
Happy New Year, sir.
You too. Okay, we have these two 33-day motions that are scheduled for 9 a.m. That first one is Demetria Sierra Johnson, and it's filed by the Conflict Council, indicating she was arrested on August the 13th. Is that person in jail at the present time? Is that person being held in any other charges other than 2019 CF 11509?
Yes.
Okay. And does the state agree that no information has been filed as of today on this particular charge?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, are we on Theodoros Kabiki?
Yes. Demetria Johnson?
Oh, Demetria Johnson.
Is 2019 CF 11509.
Yes, Your Honor, on December 23rd, there was a notification of non-filing.
All right. At this time, the motion for release is granted. And then the other 33-day motion set at 9 o'clock. State of Florida against Henry Sharon, 2019 CF 16249. It indicates that the arrest was November the 24th, and 33 days is December the 27th. That would be tomorrow. So I think this case should be heard. This hearing should be heard tomorrow.
They did file a notification of non-filing on the 20th.
All right.
Reset for tomorrow, or do you want?
Well, it's your choice, actually. I can either go ahead and sign it now or bring it up again tomorrow morning.
I'll just leave it to the court's discretion.
All right. I will go ahead and grant this since because there's been a notification of non-filing, I will grant this today. So Henry Sharon Jr. will be released on this case only. 2019 CF 16249. We now go to the numerous 33-day motions that are scheduled for today. The first of these is State of Florida. It's Robert Storm Stevenson.
Yes, Your Honor. On December 23rd, there was a request for administrative transfer and an information filed, and I have blocked copies to provide. Do you want to keep those?
All right. The defendant's motion for automatic release is denied. State of Florida, Sean Spiegelman.
Yes, Your Honor. On December 23rd, a no information notice was filed.
The defendant's motion for automatic release is granted. State of Florida, Dondrick Dion Hooks.
Yes, Your Honor. On December 20th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Defendant's motion for automatic release is granted. State of Florida, Jalen Bristol.
Yes, Your Honor. On December 20th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Defendant's motion for automatic release is granted. State of Florida, Santiago Nunez.
Yes, Your Honor. On December 20th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Defendant's motion for automatic release is granted. State of Florida, Elvis Mulai Mabutha.
Yes, Your Honor. On December 6th, there was a request for administrative transfer and an information, and I'm going to provide the clock copy.
Defendant's motion for automatic release is denied. State of Florida, it's William Lewis Johnson.
Yes, Yes, Your Honor, on December 23rd, there was a request for administrative transfer and information, and I have clock copies on that one as well.
Yes, it's now 19 MM 10323. The defendant's motion for automatic release is denied. State of Florence, Tyrone J. Riley.
Yes, Your Honor, on December 23rd, there was a no information notice filed.
Defendant's motion for automatic release is granted. State of Florence, Jason Garrett LaCorta.
Yes, Your Honor, on December 23rd, there was an information filed, filing ID 100741579.
Defendant's motion is denied. State of Florence, David Alexander Graham.
Yes, Your Honor, on December 18th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Defendant's motion for automatic release is granted. State of Florence, Calvin Lynn Spangler.
Yes, Your Honor, on December 23rd, there was a notice of non-filing.
Defendant's motion for automatic release is granted. State of Florida against Teodris Cabadi.
Yes, Your Honor, on December 23rd, there was a request for administrative transfer and information filed. I have clock copies.
He has been in jail for 12 days since the revocation, and there's an information filed on the 23rd. That was. Did you say an information was filed on December the 23rd?
Yes.
All right. Defendant's motion for automatic release is denied. Are you Jonathan Armstrong?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm Judge Kirkland. I'm reviewing your case. It indicates that you were arrested yesterday, a little before midnight, last night, at 520 South Orange Blossom Trail. That's the address of a Citgo station. The charge was driving while license revoked as a habitual traffic offender. It's a felony charge. It has a bond of $2,500. And after you bond out, a condition of release is not to drive until your license is reinstated while the case is pending. I appoint the public defender to represent you in Division 19. That judge is Judge Renee Roche. Jason Matthew Bazan. This is an arrest affidavit from earlier this morning. From 9682 Air Commerce Parkway. The charge listed as burglary of a structure. The public defender is appointed to represent you in Division 19, Judge Renee Roche. Your bond is $3,500. The conditions of release: no return to within 1,000 feet of the Air Commerce building at 9682 Air Commerce Parkway while the case is pending. No contact with anyone that's named or referred to as an employee or a co-defendant. There are two co-defendants listed, George Viecha and Omar Antonio Salas Perez. No contact with any of those persons while the case is pending. Stay in contact with your attorney if there are some practical problems with those particular conditions. Only the judge in Division 19 can change those conditions.
Your Honor, Mr. Bazan qualifies for pretrial release. Would you consider that?
What is the state's position concerning a request for pretrial release as an alternative to $3,500 bond?
We would defer to the court's discretion, Your Honor. Yes, we note that he has no priors and no FTAs.
All right, there's an option available for you, and I want you to talk with your attorney as to whether you would prefer to be released under the pretrial release program and abide by their requirements, or in the alternative, post a bond of $3,500.
Your Honor, Mr. Bazan would like to go to pretrial. He would like pretrial, Your Honor. I apologize.
All right. And he does qualify. At this time, then, this will be a release, on pretrial release. You must stay in touch with them as they require and make sure you do not have any contact with those other two persons. And this is unusual for me to grant this on a burglary charge, but I do recognize it appears to be more of a messing around type of case. The allegations are that he drove his small vehicle in there to do some donuts in a large warehouse space with his vehicle, and that is quite different to me than someone going in to harm someone or damage property or steal property and so on. So I do take that into consideration. Nevertheless, the conditions are the same: no contact and no return to that location. Gerald Coward. This is a Florida DUI uniform traffic citation that has resulted in an arrest affidavit. Count 1 is driving while under the influence, but it is a felony charge, fourth or subsequent offense, bond $10,000. The second count is driving without a valid driver's license. At this time, after reviewing the paperwork, I find that you do qualify for the public defender in Division 20 on this case. The reason for the level of the bond is that he's an out-of-state resident. But after reviewing the casework, I find that the bond should be the same as if he was a local resident. The bond for Count 1 will be a $5,000 bond today. Count 2 will be a bond of $100. A condition of release is to post the bond and make sure that you make each and every hearing. Stay in touch with your attorney so that you know if and when you have to return to Central Florida with regard to this case. In addition, a condition of release is not to drive until you have a valid driver's license. Which is count 2. Total is $5,100 bond, Division 20. Whittam Foster. This is an arrest affidavit from earlier this morning at 4301 Millennia Boulevard. There are 6 charges listed: burglary of a conveyance, burglary of a structure, possession of burglary tools, and counts 4 and 5 are misdemeanors: resisting without violence and loitering and prowling. Count 6 is a felony, grand theft 3rd degree. The appropriate bonds are as follows. Count 2 is a bond of $3,500. Count 1 is a bond of $150. Count 3 is $150. Count 4 $100. Count 5 $100. Count 6 $150. Your total bond is $4,150. No return to 4301 Millennia Boulevard as a condition of your release. Are you planning to hire a private attorney? Is that your goal, to check to see if you're going to get a private attorney?
Yes.
All right. At any time in your case, if you discover you're not able to hire a private attorney or you don't have a private attorney, you can request a public defender if you feel you might qualify and that is the reason why you don't have an attorney is you cannot afford one. You can request at any hearing the public defender. The public defender cannot represent you unless you qualify, and the judge at that stage would inquire as to whether you qualify at that point. Right now, you're going to be listed as getting your own attorney, and you can now bond out, but you cannot go back to the Mercedes-Benz dealership at 4301 Millennia Boulevard while the case is pending. Not to have any contact with anyone that's named or referred to in this narrative of the arrest affidavit as being a co-defendant or witness or victim or arresting officer. Dennis Hoover.
He's behaving, Your Honor.
All right. He'll be reset for tomorrow. He's being held on a no bond, or he's been held without being able to get out because of a hold for a prior case. So he needs to come see me, but he's also being held on a no bond due to the warrants. So I'll just reschedule him for tomorrow to see if he wants to see me. He's not getting out either way. This is Jermaine Robinson.
No, Jeff Joseph.
It is driving while license suspended.
So what's the jail number, Your Honor? We don't have him on the docket.
All right. Are you, what is your name?
Jeff Joseph.
Okay. Jermaine Robinson, it says, is his inmate number is 19036608.
That person bonded.
Thank you. George Vieta.
Bonded, Your Honor.
John Schoenfeld.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Keep up the good work. Jeff Joseph.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is a case from earlier this, it actually is an arrest just before midnight, just half an hour before midnight from Point Vista Circle and Cabo San Lucas Drive. The charge is possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, which is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's in county court. The public defender is appointed to represent you in county court. This is a case in which driver's license is also involved. A conviction on this kind of case results in a loss of driving privileges. And I believe currently that period of time of loss is 1 year.
We're currently asking that these cases be held ROR. They're having some policy decisions regarding labs and so on.
All right. If the case is resolved, does the state make an offer at first appearances, even though the state is, okay. So the case will not be resolved today. However, it's the state attorney's policy that I release you on your own recognizance rather than requiring you to pay a bond on this case. So you will be released later on today, but you are still facing the charge. So stay in touch with your public defender that I've appointed to represent you. And the condition of release, other than ROR, is to make each and every hearing, stay in touch with your attorney, and not be in possession of any substance prohibited by law while the case is pending. All right.
Thank you.
Marcelick Willis.
Yes, sir.
This arrest affidavit from earlier this morning from Americana and South Rio Grande. Count 1 is resisting an officer without violence. Count 2, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. The first charge is a bond of $500, and the second charge, even if it's a second, it's also an RR. All right, so your total bond right now is $500. I appoint the public defender to represent you on this case, and there may be an offer to resolve the case at first appearances.
For the second count, I just have to ask that he be released ROR, and so I don't know if we can split.
Okay. You can now bond out on a $500 bond for the count 1, and you have an attorney on the case of public defender. The condition of release is not to be in possession of any substance prohibited by law. Walayut Fidungsit. This is a city case. It's from Roslyn and Pine on the southwest corner is Downtown Baptist Church, yes, and the northeast corner is the high-rise new building. This charge comes from a city charge of urinating in public. And you do not have an attorney. The case number is 19MO2013AO. There may be an offer by the state attorney on behalf of the city of Orlando to resolve this case at first appearances to see if you feel that would be the best thing for you to do.
Yes, Your Honor. The offer would be adjudication of guilt, 4 days with credit time served and court costs.
If you decide to resolve the case, the sentence would be 4 days credit for 2. Today is Thursday. That means you would be released tomorrow on Friday. If you feel you should not enter a plea, for example, if you're on probation, felony probation, you would not try to resolve the case today. But otherwise, if you think this is the best thing for you to do, you can enter a plea after you read and sign that plea form. If you want to make sure you understand your rights and that you understand your options.
I understand my rights, but I would say I'm content, no contents.
Okay. You can do that and read that and sign that if you feel the best thing to do is to enter a plea today. You did not request the public defender, and I have not mentioned that. But if you have any questions you want to ask about your options, you can. She will be glad to give you some assistance on that. Do you think that you understand everything that you need to understand to make a decision?
You're gonna put me in.
Okay.
You're gonna put me in jail for 4 days.
Well, you're already here.
It's unnecessary.
It just means you won't get out till tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay.
All right. What's your full legal name? What's your name?
My name is Walayut Fidungsit.
And what's your date of birth?
January 22nd, 55.
Okay. Well, I asked that for a couple of reasons. One is I want to hear you talk a little bit. I want to make sure that you feel like you're able to make a decision, you're not under the influence of anything and that sort of thing. And I also want to make sure you're the same person that's supposed to be here on this case. And did you in fact get arrested last night on that at that intersection of Roslyn and Pine?
Well, it shouldn't happen.
No, I'm not asking what happened. I'm just asking, did you in fact? I want to make sure that you did get arrested at that location.
I did arrest it in
Okay,
another
okay.
location.
And I understand fully that if you don't have a place to live, you have to find some place to go to the bathroom, and sometimes that results in you getting arrested, because if the officer sees it happening, here you are. So it's a little bit like an O. Henry story. So, how do you plead to the charge?
How do I plead to the charge?
No
contest.
No contest?
Right.
All right. Do you have any questions you want to ask me about this case?
No,
Okay. I accept the plea at this time.
but I have a,
You want to say something?
no,
Okay. It's 4 days, credit for 2, and so you'll be released tomorrow.
okay.
And I believe that you do not have the ability to pay the court costs, and so the court costs will go into a civil judgment. And so you need to, the only advice I can give you is what you already know. You just need to figure out another way to resolve that situation that got you arrested, so it doesn't happen again. All right. Court's in recess until tomorrow.